Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am painting this 20-inch dot mandala mirror with a 12-inch mirror placed at the center. I have already done the grid layout. I have left the middle 6-inch blank and just marking the grid after that with lines at every quarter inch. To make the grid, I have used a 12 sector stencil and worked with just half of worked with it. You can follow how to create this grids using a step-by-step tutorial video on my channel. You can check that out before starting. Now let's begin the dotting. This piece is all about blue gradient with a touch of sparkle from blue rhinestone. For the colors, I have used Decor Calypso Blue, a custom mix of Calypso Blue and white for the gradient. So I have got the two gradient from it. It's soft blend of white pearl and ice blue. So I have just got an icy blue structure as my highlighter, and I have taken white. Also, I have used a pure ice blue for most of the darker petals. We are starting with the lighter shade from the center and creating 3 rings of dot using a 5 mm rod from Happy Dotting Company. If you don't have this tool, you can use the purple glass rod to do your dot, or the transparent bigger rod to do the circle. Okay. So since the mandala is quite large, I am only showing a part of the design in real time. This will help you to learn the process, and then you can apply the same technique to complete the full circle. After this main ring, I'll be adding micro dots with metallic ice blue and white to add detailing. Just one tip, always remember to tap out any air bubbles from your paint and the dot to avoid holes in your dot. Now let's begin with the first design. I am starting by placing the rhinestone, one on each of the 24 grid marks. I initially used 12 sector stencil, but I have halved its section, which gave me around 24 lines in total. So I am placing 24 rhinestone on each line. Once the rhinestone are placed, I begin with the dotting pattern. So at the big dot at the tip of the rhinestone, and then using my rotating the pink tool and using the smallest tool tip to do the walking up the dot. Using the bigger tape, I am doing the 3 dot technique. So just remember to do this and place it on the line, the bigger dot of the third one to be lined, so you can have that symmetry all over your design. And remember to, if you I use a stick tack that stick, my favorite crystal tacking, it's a very chewing gum like structure. Very little of it I placed it in back of the rhinestone and stick it to my board so that the rhinestone doesn't move while I am painting. Now I am using the medium short bristle US Art Supply brushes to do the design of the brush stroke. So if you not comfortable with the brush, you can do it using your stylus tool by loading the tip of the tool with paint and swooshing it out. Always this is a tip, always poke out any air bubbles while the paint is still wet. If they dry out, they will leave holes in your brush stroke. So if you find any dried bubbles that aren't too noticeable, don't stress. You can either leave them or carefully paint over them with another brush stroke to fix it. I do this often and it works well. This brushstroke technique is something I repeat throughout the design. I am showing this one section in real time so that you can see exactly how slow and steady the process is, especially with the brush. Watch now how I add extra paint, then press the brush down, bend it slightly, pull it gently, and finally lift my wrist to create a sharp, clean tail at the end of the stroke. It takes time, but that's what brings the beauty of the mandala. As we continue, we will notice gap between the petals. Here, what can you do? Add 2 squares in each section. This helps you judge the space properly. You will know whether there enough room for another petal or not. So when you start your design in your mind, so try to do it with the adjacent 2 sections so that you can know how much paint you need to load or how many brush stroke you need to adjust with that space. Like you can adapt to your design as you go. So now with this, I am clear that I will be doing this and using this technique and loading this much paint to complete the rest 22 sections or the petals or the designs. And one more tip is if you don't have rhinestone, don't worry. You can still recreate a similar look. Simply paint the rhinestone shape instead, like a leaf or an eye shaped petal. You can use a small mirror with that, or cut the shape out and paint it with ice blue. Then top of it with a big white dot and a swoosh, the way I am showing. Now let's move to the second design. I am placing a large dot just above the tip of the petal, centered between the 2 petals. So when the tip ended, just above that I am taking and placing the big dot using the green dotting tool, and through the lowest tip pink one I am choosing it down. We'll be now moving on the second design. In this section, I am creating the petal patterns. After complete the initial swoosh from the previous design, I begin with the working of the dot. To start, place the first dot slightly higher, either just above the petal tip or in the next grid line. This gives you petal a nice pointed shape. Then place 3 even 2 dot evenly spaced like the 3 dot technique. After that, using the smallest tool, continue the walking up dot technique just the way I am showing. This completes the first layer of the petal detailing. Now I will begin the brush petals. I am using the same medium short bristle brush as before. This time I am loaded it with ice blue. If you don't have that ice blue, you can use a dark shade blue to create the contrast. Feel free to use any blue from your gradient pattern. I am starting this petal from the next grid mark, slightly beyond, It's the top of that where your white dot ended, the top of that grid marks. uh, so the second petal starts from the next grid line or the grid line where your white dot is there, and then lower to it the third petal will be the one that is next to it. So this helps to maintain symmetry. So this grid marks and where you want to start will help to maintain symmetry and spacing of your petals. So here is a brush stroke tip. Make sure to load enough paint onto your brushes so you can feel the area between the petal and the center grid line. As I press the brush gently, allow it to bend and then lift your wrist smoothly to create a pointed tail. See how I am showing. If you are new to brushstroke or still building confidence, you can always practice these strokes on a separate surface before working on your main piece. Now let's address the space between the two brush petals. In this gap, I am adding a swoosh dot swoosh flower technique. First, I place a dot using a larger stylus like the green one, followed by a swoosh on the either side with the smaller tool. Like the small of that tool, I did the dot. Then using the pink, the minimal tool, I will drag it down. You can use the 3mm green stylus tool to create all the 3 dots if you have sufficient space. This little 3-part motif add a soft floral rhythm between the petal shape. There is a small gap left below the flower section, so I am adding another delicate brush stroke to complete the design. So I am using the stylus tool, like the smallest tip of the pink dotting rod, loading it with the light blue shade that hasn't been used yet in this design, and watch how I create a soft swoosh to fill the final space. This completes the second full design unit of the mandala. We'll follow the exact step for the remaining 22 section. And finally, we have reached the last part of our 20-inch mirror mandala. To finish this beautiful piece, I am placing a rhinestone right on the top, aligned with the end of the last petal on each section. I'm securing each rhinestone with the adhesive that I use to tack the rhinestone to my board. Once the rhinestones are in place, I am continuing with the walking up the dot technique around them to maintain the flow and the balance in the design. I have already completed one design of the final petal, and I have decided to add extra sparkle by placing small square mirror in the gap between the two large petals. So after finishing the dot, I am switching to my brush again. Using Calypso blue, I started the final petal stroke, beginning with the bottom of the petal. Gently pressing down with the brush, dragging it upward, bending slightly, and finally lifting my wrist to create a sharp, clean tip. To complete the border, I am adding one more final brush stroke along with the outer edge of the board using the metallic ice blue. So the next petal, like I'll be top petal from the top to down, I'll be using the edge of the board. You can draw a grid marks to do the center point, then putting the pressure at the tip, bending and then slightly lifting my wrist to do the petal, like the design. I'm just with that petal, I am giving a cover to it, the first big petals cover. Then I'll be going down and down on my grid lines, the way I have done the second design. The same technique I'll follow to do rest 1 2 3 petals, but all the petals should remember to be in that center line of the three motif structure of the previous design. So now we are doing at the second petal, and then third, then fourth at the end to cover that triangular shape of that petal. So this complete the final design, the outer layer of the mandala. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Whether it was learning the brushstroke technique, dotting tips, or just watching the process unfold. If you know someone who would enjoy learning or practicing dot mandala art, especially brushstroke, please share this video with them. This tutorial is perfect for advanced beginner or intermediate artist, especially those ready to explore combining dotting tools with brush technique. And don't worry if you don't have the exact same brush I used, whether you are working with the medium bristle brushes or rigger brushes or any other type. Just go with what feels comfortable in your hand. I would love for you to share this design with your friends and family, and if you try it out yourself, tag me on my Instagram. That is, when my Instagram handle is soothing mandala. I would be happy to see your creation. Thank you so much for watching, and I truly appreciate your support. Let me know what you think about this mirror mandala design in the comments. Your words and feedback truly motivates me. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, happy creating. Bye-bye.